What's good, Golden Enterprise Builders? It's your boy Corey. I'm back, but only for a moment. If you weren't aware, follow me on Instagram at Branding Beyond Clippers. That's where I'm mostly active on Instagram at Branding Beyond Clippers to stay up to date with all the activities that I've been doing pretty much in my absence from YouTube. Reason for this video, however, is to show you how to use Trello as a project manager in 15 minutes or less, from you potentially not being aware to you getting started with an effective board for a project management tool for your business. All right. So I'm going to be dipping off here in a moment. Just real quick updates. I've landed my first contract with a barber college. I am effectively branding myself with Branding Beyond Clippers, not just the book, but as a brand in the local scene with barbers, and they're creating some type of interest and demand where others are now asking to meet with me to create opportunities and collaborate. I've also helped start a movement called Better Barber Orlando, and all the good things you can see again on Instagram at Branding Beyond Clippers. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna dip out. You'll see my face in the corner, then I'm Ghost as I walk you through this Trello. So this is me saying peace, and I will continue to share my voice as we go through this. So, in short, Trello is a very simple, practical project management tool. You can use it for many different things, CRMs, etc. But I use it now as a project management tool. So what you're going to do is you're going to Google and you can type in Trello, Trello, or go directly to the website, and that's going to be Trello, Trello.com. And for me, I am on the excuse me, I'm on the standard plan. I believe I'm paying $7 per month. If you do pay annually, you can just do it $60 for the entire year. Not going to get into the specs. That's not the goal of this, but I recommend, at least to set up the way that I have, go ahead and go with the standard plan. All right. So once you log in, you'll create a Trello account. I'm going to exit this, and you'll be able to look at the different templates. I've searched several of them, but I'm under the project management tab, and this is the amazing Kanban project manager template. So this is the one I recommend. This is the one I use, and it's suited best for what I am doing when it comes to planning multiple events throughout the year. This just suited best for what I'm trying to do. The reason I chose Trello over another management tool, others that piqued my interest, were ClickUp. Um, Super A's amazing tool right there. Monday.com also had my interest as well. HubSpot, of course, as one of the leaders in this space. But I was looking for something very simple. Right now, I've used Notion up until this point, but it just required too much time for me to open it up, input all the information, and just it just got overwhelming trying to trying to keep up with all that. I have a full-time job. I'm a student in college. I have multiple events that I'm running. I'm managing two brands. I got families, to engage with, friends that I enjoy spending time with, and then of course I have to take time for myself too. So being overwhelmed by trying to input a bunch of information into one software, or i.e., Notion, which is good, but it requires a lot of manual input, I decided to make the change. So again, this is the amazing Kanban. I'm going to show you the template and then I'll show you mine. All right, so this is the amazing Kanban. This is the template that you will see when you open this up, for lack of better terms. As you can see, it already has pre-built stages in which you can simply drag and drop your items into the next stage as you move forward in your projects. Okay, so this one very clean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages, and super duper dope there. I'm going to show you mine, you know what I mean, because why not? And you give you an example of what it looks like. So this is the standard. Again, this is the template. If you decide to use this template, you just hit create board from template, and then it will allow you to customize this as you see fit. Now, again, since I've already done that, just gonna go and let that page load for you. And do 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 do. do, 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 do. And I certainly hope that I don't get any copyright issues for humming that tune, because it is pretty legit, and so on and so forth. Anyway, this is my version of the boards. These individual slots are considered as boards, and you can customize all of these. You can change the colors on these. You can input different information by clicking this button here, and it's fully customizable. So what I really wanted to kind of show you, the question is, okay, how did you come up with this, Corey, right? How did you know the steps that you want to put, these checklists, right? How do you know which steps you want to take? I created all of these checklists for each stage in the development of an idea or an event in this case. And it's fairly simple. I love it because you can also leave notes right on the side. And then at the same time, you can put a description, of course, updating the title. You can add labels. You can put a date on it. And what I'm referring to earlier is the checklist, which you can just title, and then you'll be able to create a new checklist, and it'll give you the options on what to select in there. And you can assign members as your team grows. This is also a good tool for social media when you're doing campaigns, creative design. And I believe there's a feature where you can schedule content to post out of this as well, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on it. It's been some time, again, since I've been inside of this platform. Anyway, so how did I get to here? Um, Simply, shout out to the chat one with the chat GPT for the dub. For the dub. Like I said, in my decision making process, I did ask chat, which tool it would recommend that I use out of the options that I had in mind. And this is going to take a second to load, simply because I be on chat all the time, and it'd be a lot. So depending on the time of day, hope you had hope your night's going well, kind of wound down, relaxing. If it's daytime, early morning, I hope you're getting up and you're ready to tackle the day, conquer it, get a dub on that one. And if it's the middle afternoon, around 3, 4 o'clock, hope you're winding down or you're wrapping up some projects that you feel proud of the work that you've been able to contribute to over the course of the day, over the course of the week or the month or what have you, right? All right, so I know for me, it's been pretty productive. Today is mostly classwork. And I'll tell you now, me in math for business, at least the stage that I'm at, we are not the bestest of friends. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm going to pause this real quick so that way I can go jump right to the area that's relevant. All right, and we are back. The conversation, me and chat, I like Notion in the beginning, but it costs too much energy to update. I've been thinking about using a different project management tool, or I can dedicate a notebook to, just kind of talking basically how I want to improve my workflow, and how Trello, right, has been circulating for years, simplicity, and I don't want to invest too much time in a platform like ClickUp, etc. So after that analysis, you can see what chat talked about. My chat named Jamel. That's my dog, straight up. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog for sure. Anyway, so yeah, agree this is a good fit. Kind of talk through what exactly why is a good fit for the stage that I'm on. Why I don't need the other complex tools right now. That the other platforms would offer, and what problem that is actually solving currently. Again, just emphasizing the fit to why it makes sense for me to use a platform like Trello at my stage of business. But as we're going down, these are the options that it recommended for my boards. So they're saying we could pretty much theme my boards, my workflow, to outreach and relationship building. And these essentially would be my cards, right? And then say what each card would represent, what it would need, checklist, due dates, etc. Or option 2 was to do events and programs, which is the one I ultimately chose. which would be the seminars, the boot camps, community events. And then, as mentioned, for social media, we can do our content workflow, ideas, drafts, schedules, etc. This is why not ClickUp, the litmus test, and so on and so forth. And I told them, cool, I want to go with number two, again, focusing on project management. And I can use the content calendar in Canva as an alternative tool just to make sure that every every task has an outcome or leading to an outcome, whether that's if it's content, it's eventually going to be posted. If it's a an event, eventually it's going to be executed. If it's a client, eventually there's going to be a decision whether they're closed or didn't close that deal or proposal, right? So all of these different tasks or workflows have a specific outcome, and we were theming. The goal is to theme your Trello board workflow for each stage in that process leading to the outcome. So based on what I requested, which is option number two, it gave me some boards right here. See events and management HQ, which is exactly what you see on my side, ideas and concepts. I'm gonna come back over here real quick. Ideas and concepts, and so on and so forth. You see, but I really wanted to kind of show you real quick that it chat Jamel, my dog, got me right, and he suggested what to consider at each stage in terms of tasks to complete. What this is here, the event card template. So basic information, and then the checklist, core checklist, promotion checklist, post event, get that going, and then the due dates. Now I did add, I believe, two more cards, just because of the way that my operation works, based on what I found to be effective in my many years. And the one that I added was this program management delegation meeting, because we need, when we're doing events, we need to make sure, absolute for certain, that everyone is on the same page before we execute, right? All right. So you're probably wondering what these little bars are right underneath each task. As mentioned, you can just drag and drop to the next phase, drag and drop to the next phase, drag and drop to the next phase, all the way until it's finalized, right? All right. So now again, you're wondering probably what are these little options here, right? So another reason why, in particular, I decided to go with the paid plan is to get these progress bars that are built into the template that you can customize and create. But for example, cracking the barber code, boom, this is all of the tasks that needs to be completed. And in a moment, it should load the taskbar, and then we'll wrap up. All right, it's loading up. 1 second. Turtle. You ever seen the Mask of Disguise or the Master of Disguise? I want to be the Master of Disguise. I want to be the Master of Disguise. And there's a scene in the movie where he literally goes to the Turtle Club and he's dressed like a turtle, and he's like turtle, turtle, a snapping turtle, and he like bites someone's fake nose off, bro. It's crazy. I'm trying to see where this progress bar is. Give me a second to pause, and I'll come back. We're back. And we're back with just a few moments to spare. So again, what when we're looking at this progress bar right here. So the reason why I love this template, it's a great visual. Don't get me wrong. But what you can do is set the importance. Again, this is pre-built into that Kanban template that I'm referring to, and under the paid standard plan, whether you buy for the year or subscribe to pay monthly, $7 a month, which would leave $75 on the year, you can get access to these features. So what you can do is change the importance level of each item as it gets closer to either the end stages or that date approaches. Is how you can then change your priority listing of said event or task or stage in that process. And you can assign a team as you build, right? So, in the template, you'll have sales teams and ops teams. I don't really worry too much about it because it's me. So I'm sales and the ops team, and then a requester, not too concerned about that. In terms of this progress bar in particular, you can determine how many tasks are within each project. And, you can do a total here for me from all of the checklists combined for each stage in it's a total of 27. So here I have an estimate of 27, and I subtract the number of items that I completed to get the remaining number of tasks to reach 100% on this bar, right? And like and that's pretty much the gist of it. Once the checklists are created, every new task that you create or project that you create, you will be able to simply go to the checklist button that we looked at earlier at the top over here whenever it loads. Bear with me. What I was referring to, though, is after you kind of preset and create each checklist, when you go into the checklist button for every new project that you create, you will be able to simply press copy items from, and the list of your checklists will be here. And you simply just click it, and it'll attach it to this workflow, this project. You can also drag and drop, right, or reorder the checklist and arrange them in a way that works best for you. But I do recommend if you do reorder them, just kind of go slow because otherwise it'll jump like right to the bottom or all the way to the top, right? So that's my personal recommendation based on what I experienced. So yeah, that's going to be a quick tutorial here. We're a little over 15 minutes, but hey, I got it done minus my intro. And as you can see from the top, you go to Trello.com, create an account. There's a free plan, but I recommend the standard paid plan, $5 a month. If you want to do it annually, $60 for the year, or $7 a month monthly, $75 for the year. Concluding, you go into the templates. You'll use the amazing Kanban option, for the templates. And then you would press the button to create from this template. Go to ChatGPT, kind of tell it what you envision in terms of the outcome you want to achieve and the related task or checklist per stage in that workflow, as we mentioned earlier. And then input the information as needed, whether that's the number of tasks you envision for each project, and then use that toolbar, and then use the toolbar to create that progress, create that project tracker, creating and adding checklists to kind of put them all in the project in the beginning, and just as you move as your project moves through the phases, you can simply check boxes off. It doesn't have to be specific or perfect every time. Some stages you can tackle multiple different tasks, check task list or checklist at a time, so it doesn't have to be perfect or flow sequentially every time. So that's going to be it. Looks like we're closer on 20. Let me bring my face back up in there. And hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, subscribe, like, share, all the good stuff. But most importantly, if you want to stay up to date with the activities that I've got going on, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Branding Beyond Clippers. Again, that's at Instagram, Branding Beyond Clippers. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.